Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I'm going to be doing a long-awaited video, my TBC add-ons. Man, so many questions on this particular question. What add-ons do you have? How do you configure them, etc.? The reason I waited this long to do the video is because I was figuring out my add-ons myself, and I'm still a little hesitant to do the video because as the expansion goes on, I may or may not change things around, but I think I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty set on my add-ons and they're feeling pretty darn good. So I was like, okay, let's do the video. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button, follow me over on Instagram, and we'll hop into it. We got to get the Insta shout out. Just gotta get the Insta shout out. But here we are, guys, in the game, and it's actually pretty cool because I get to record this in Shadstrath City. A lot of my guides that I record for retail, I do in chat, and we're actually doing it in chat, and look, there's other people around. We got a populated Shadstrath City. Pretty dope. So I'll go to add-ons here. These are all my add-ons. We'll have them all linked down below for the download links. You can get them on CurseForge or WoW Up pretty much. So you should be good to go on that one. We'll start at the bottom. Questy I use for quests. I actually don't have it enabled because it bugs out sometimes with joining queues, and I don't quest particularly often. I do PvP, so I just have it disabled. Now here, Xarmods is the add-on that I initially created, and then from there, Stako's kind of taken it over. But we'll start with Xarmods. So Xarmods, guys, is going to have a posture check feature, and I'm going to reset it to 1 minute. The posture check you can enable or disable and have a frequency setting, and it'll kind of just remind you to sit up straight in the chair. And we're starting with that because that's important to me, man. We have it disabled in instances because we don't want that popping up mid-arena match, but hey, in between the queues to get a little posture check might be kind of nice. We got chat. Just unclamp the frame and hide the frame. Actually, it's behind my camera, so I'll move it real quick for you guys. But basically it makes the chat frame look a little bit nicer, a little bit more minimalist, and a lot of the add-ons I'm going to show are going to do that same thing. It's going to be a little bit nicer. It's going to be a little bit more minimalist, and that's essentially what I believe in, right? If I'm going to create an add-on or have an add-on, I want it to detract the unessential, right? As Bruce Lee said, remove the unessential. And for me, a great user interface is one that you take away everything you don't need to see, so you're left with just what you do need to see so that you can make better and better decisions. And look at that, posture check is exactly what it does. It reminds you to sit up straight. I should probably go a little quicker, man. So the unit frames. So we have hide feedback text, hide PvP icons, class colors. That's why my health bar is blue. When I target this hunter, the health bar is green. When I target this druid, the health bar is orange. I do know my colors. And that's what the class color option here is in Xarmods. The player chain is a rare elite. That's this around my icon. You can actually, these are mixed up, but you can have elite, rare elite for that player icon. Make yourself look like a dragon. Combat indicator. This is actually a really cool one where this guy just blew me a kiss /kiss. Combat indicator, I'm actually going to fly outside the city, is going to show you when your target is in combat. This is pretty cool because when you're playing with a rogue, you can instantly see if the target can get sapped, or if he's in combat, maybe he can't get sapped, right? And that's pretty darn cool. So I'm going to fly down here and just ice lance this guy, and this little X means I'm in combat, and this little X means the target is in combat, right? So it'll work on focus, target, and target. This guy's in combat, right? Combat, and that will basically show as soon as someone's in combat and drop as soon as they're out of combat, which really helps out to see if someone can be sapped or not. So that's combat indicator, player chain, class colors, and visibility. Moving up to the action bars, and this is a little disappointing for me to say, but we don't have action bars configured yet for TBC. So for action bars, I am using an action bar add-on separate from Xarmods, whereas on a retail, the action bar setting does work, and it kind of makes it basically look exactly like this. But we have a separate add-on right now to make the action bars look the way they do. These are not working. Now, the only thing these do work for is to hide griffins and hide macro names. So if you do want to use those two settings, they are available for use. Now for interface, there's just some nice settings here like auto repair, auto sell graze, enable scroll wheeling, enable or hide those zoom buttons on the mini map. You can hide the Xarmods icon if you don't want it there, and that's this one. And that means, if you don't know what this little icon means, it means Kaizen. It means to improve, constantly improving. That's why I like the little reminder there on the mini map. Disable screen effects, pretty cool one. When you go invis, a lot of people ask, why do I not get a blurry screen? When I go invis, it stays like this. doesn't have that blurry screen. That's this setting right here in Xarmods. Disable screen glow. Makes the glow on like outside Orgrimmar not so like harsh, or on some arena maps not so harsh. It makes the screen a little bit less glowy, which really helps seeing things. So that's Xarmods, guys. That's the first one. These are my settings. I'm gonna put this posture check back to, I have it at every 60 minutes, so it's not spamming me. But I just wanted to show you what that looked like. Next, we have Tell Me When. Now, Tell Me When, guys, I use to show buffs and debuffs. Right here on closer to my character pane. Just to give you a quick example, when I pop Icy Veins, I can see the duration here. When I pop on Use Trinket, I can see the duration here, so I don't have to look all the way up here, right? When I Ice Block, I can see it here. My Hypothermia comes off there. You know, Will of Forsaken here, etc., etc. Now, you can use weak auras. That's fine. The reason I use Tell Me When is because it's easy peasy to set up, and I don't use it for much, right? You can use weak auras to do almost anything with a Tell Me When. You know, it's basically just, I use it for just showing these icons. Now, if you want my exact profile, the link is on the add-ons page down below. I have an export link. All you have to do is type in this box, copy and paste what I have there, and click import from string, and it's gonna look exactly like this, and that's all you have to do. So then your Tell Me When will be completely configured. Now, if you're not a mage, you might wanna configure that yourself, right? Like, okay, I don't have Icy Veins, but maybe I have, you know, you're a Beast Mastery Hunter and you have Bestial Wrath, for example. You might wanna show that, you know, etc. So you can go from there, but that's my Tell Me When settings. It's really easy to configure. If you want to change Icy Veins, all you do is click buff and debuff. You type in what you wanna track. You type in buff or debuff, whichever one it is. I like to show the timer and the timer text, and that's all you gotta do. Press OK, and then you're done. So, and that's it. So that's Tell Me When. There's another Tell Me When I use that is to show the duration of my water elemental, and my chat helped me make this weak aura. You can make a weak aura too. This is a Tell Me When, but it kind of counts down real small here on the water lily frame, the remainder of the time of water lily. And this is pretty freaking cool, man. I came up with the idea when I was like, man, I wonder how long my water lily has left. Should I use my Pet Nova or not? And then it expired, and that happened a couple times. And I was like, okay, let's make it Tell Me When so I can see exactly how long's left. So that's a pretty cool one. Once again, down below, add-ons, Tell Me When. I'll have an export string if you want to export that one as well. It'll set it up just like mine, easy peasy. Next, we have S-Arena TBC. Now, this is another one that I don't have the S-Arena from the S-Arena website. Now, if you want to get the S-Arena from the S-Arena website, you can basically configure it to look exactly like mine. Mine looks like this. Now, if you resize things and change where they are, you could basically make it look very similar to how I have mine set up, or you can use Gladdy if you want as well. I prefer how S-Arena looks. In my experience, it bugs a little less, and I'm used to it from live WoW. So what I did is I modded a super old version of S-Arena, if you guys remember this version, and I made the DR tracker and the Aura Watch basically up to date for TBC, and that's all I did. And I mean, the rest of it works. Now, the reason I don't upload this is because the only thing that bugged with S-Arena is the ability to move it. So to move it, I had to go to the Lua file and type everything exactly where I wanted it with coordinates. But yeah, there's nowhere, you can't move anything on this add-on, all right? Everything is stuck into exact place. Maybe at some point I'll upload this. The only thing is you can't move anything around. It's stuck exactly like this unless you edit it yourself from the Lua file. So I would probably recommend getting Gladdy or S-Arena from the website, and it'll pretty much work just fine. The only reason I use this one is because I'm weird and I like it exactly how it looks on live, and that's basically it. If I wasn't so weird, I'd probably just get the normal S-Arena. Now, Safe Queue is a super simple add-on. It basically allows you to not have the leave battle option, and it has a nice little countdown timer for you as well, so you know how much longer you have to join the queue, which is really nice as well. So Safe Queue tells you have 30 seconds, 29, 28, little countdown for you. We got OmniCC. OmniCC, I'm not in a party right now, but it's a really cool add-on that you can configure different settings for arena, BGs, dungeons, etc. for party cooldowns, right? So what I really like to see is do my partners have stuns and kicks and big defensive. So when I'm playing with a rogue, I want to see if they have kick, blind, cloak, vanish, evasion, and you can set this all up how you want to set it all up, right? That's cool. For most classes, here I'll just quickly go through if you want to pause it at any point in the video. These are all the spells that I like to show. And like I said, I like to take a minimalist approach. I don't like to share so many cooldowns on the screen. But a counterspell, Ice Block, Cold Snap from a mage, Hammer of Justice, Blessing and Protection, Divine Shield, right? So just the bare minimum. When you download the add-on, it has a lot more. I like to untick a lot of these settings and just have it very, very minimal. Rogue is the one I show the most of because I play a lot of Rogue Mage 2s, and I think that's pretty important. But besides that, I like to show kicks and like big cooldowns a lot of the time so I can just see what's going on. PvP trinket, very critical to track for my partners so I can see if they have a trinket available or not. And that's pretty much it. And then I have these same arena settings with everything. The only other thing is that under position, I have display and active icons turned off because if you have them on, it'll always show them. I like to just show them when they're on cooldown. So you can play with that, but I like it off. And then spells, I showed you that. So OmniCC tracks party cooldowns. Pretty cool. Pretty cool add-on. OmniCC. Man, I love this add-on. Like, when I cone it cold, it shows in yellow 7, 6. Now as it gets closer, big red 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then boom, it's off cooldown, right? Now, with a longer cooldown, like Ice Barrier, it's just gonna show yellow text for a while. And in your subliminal, or not subliminal, but like in your sight that is off the screen a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Someone in the write down in the comments the word I'm looking for. Man, I don't know what it is, but it will kind of be like, oh, it's red. That's coming off cooldown pretty soon. I love this add-on. Now there's a default cooldown count in the settings for World of Warcraft, at least on retail, that kind of does a very similar thing, but I like the way OmniCC looks so much better. I love how it goes like for super long cooldowns like Will of Forsaken, it's just white. So the text is white here, but then it'll eventually go yellow, and then it'll eventually go red, so I can really see when cooldowns are coming up and when they're not coming up. It's just a really nice cooldown count. Something else that's nice with OmniCC is that it works on S Arena, it works on like Bartender, it works on like every add-on you could get. So it's that cooldown count for everything. It works on Tell Me When, it works on weak auras. It's great. I have the absolute just default settings. I just downloaded it and that is it. So nothing crazy there to do with OmniCC. Next, Omnibar. Omnibar, I will show you my settings and I'll quickly go through if you want to pause the video at any point. So I downloaded it. I kept most things default. The size I put to 38, column 7, icon limit 20. And you can mess around with that. I wouldn't say those are necessarily the best, but same type of thing here. I have most things disabled because I don't want too many things to worry about. I really am concerned about kicks, and I'm really concerned about major defensive cooldowns. So Feral Charge, from a Hunter, I track actually nothing. From a Mage, I track Counterspell. From Pally, I track nothing. From Priest, I track Shadow Word Deaths to see if I can fake a death on a Poly. Psychic Scream to see if I need to blink their fear or not, and Priest don't have a kick. So from Rogue, I track Kick, Shadow Step, Prep, and Cloak. And the reason I track Shadow Step, Cloak, and Kick is and Step is because I want to see if they can Step Kick me. So if I'm casting a Poly, can the Rogue Step Kick me or not? That's important to know, because if they don't have Step and they don't have Prep, then they can't kick you and you don't have to fake their kick, right? Shaman, I track Earthshock and Grounding. I track Grounding to see if I need to get ready to kill the Grounding, if I can anticipate them dropping it. And Warlocks, I track Death Coil. I like to track Death Coil because it's easier to see if I can block it or insta trinket or something like that, or if they still have it, I'm scared. And then Spell Lock. So basically mainly kicks and a couple different abilities. That's what I prefer for Omnibar. I don't like to do too much. Once again, that same philosophy is if I have too many things going on, it's really hard for me to see what's going on. All right. Mask, I'm gonna skip this one for now. Actually, like I can quickly show you the settings, but basically I have Bartender, and Mask can work with any add-on, but with Bartender I have it just set to default. When you download it, I think it actually might be classic, so you have to switch to default. And then I have global to default as well, but I have it disabled for Diminish and disabled for Tell Me When. Just have it enabled for Bartender on default, and the backdrop is enabled. Whoops, enabled, cancel. So that's it for Mask, and that basically makes the action bars look exactly how they would on retail. that's pretty much that, right? It just makes it look like retail action bars. And once again, because I don't want to confuse my brain, if I'm used to something how it looks in retail, then I like how it looks in retail, right? Ltrix maps, oh man, this add-on's great. It makes the map not full screen, and then it shows you parts that you haven't discovered yet. So it's basically the best map add-on ever. It shows you coordinates at the bottom here as well if you need coordinates. It's a great add-on, Ltrix maps. E-Align. This is a retail add-on that works on TBC, and you just type /align, and it brings up a grid, and it's really cool because you can align everything exactly how you want it. So my S arena is here, my tell me when is here, my party frames are here. Basically everything is, you know, aligned exactly how I want. My action bars are perfectly centered, my cast bar is perfectly centered, like all this stuff, right? So you can kind of just really tune in your user interface with the add-on, which I really enjoy doing because I want everything perfect. So I have E-Align updated. In fact, Diminish is the next add-on. Now, Diminish is actually the DR tracker that I'm using for my S Arena. So S Arena test mode, Diminish will actually show on the arena frames. But if you type /diminish under diminish options, you can toggle the test mode, and this is what the DR tracker is going to look like for arena. For the player, it looks here. For myself, I can see if I'm on stun DR here. And yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Now for diminish settings, guys, I'll just quickly go through. I have it enabled for the player. For myself, so for myself, but I only have it show stuns, okay? Only have it show stuns, and I have it enabled everywhere. For my focus target, I don't use it. For my target, I have it enabled, but not in arena because it's just distracting. But I have it out in the world because I want to see DRs out in the world sometimes. If I'm world PvPing, oh, can I sheep them yet, etc. So I have it in the world for random stuns, kidney, roots, and caps, stuns, and that's it. For arena, I have it enabled, right? Because I'm using this for my arena DR tracker. And I have it enabled in arena, of course. And that's sleep, kidney shot, roots, and caps, stuns, disorients, mind control, and fears. Nameplates disabled, party disabled, profiles, I don't use it. So those are my diminished settings. I have this add-on on retail. I think it's a pretty sick add-on because I like any add-on that stands the test of time that you can use on retail and TVC, and it's just like super simple code, super simple lightweight add-on. It's pretty cool. Details, speaking of not a super lightweight add-on, I would have here in the bottom right, I like to fade out my details. I'll quickly show you how to do that. We go to automation settings, enable it, and then on hover over, I have it at 92. No interaction, I have it at 29. And basically you can make it so on the mouse over, it highlights and kind of goes away when you don't want it to. But yeah, details, it's a damage meter. I don't have to explain much here, right? You can look at how much damage each thing did, how many of these landed, how many crit, all that kind of stuff. You can learn a lot from details, and that's why I have details installed. We got big debuffs. Big debuffs is becoming one of my favorite add-ons. I just love big debuffs. So big debuffs, toggle test mode. If I fear this druid, it's basically going to show the fear on his nameplate. For this guy, it's going to show the fear over the bar, kind of like retail. If I get fear, it's going to show that. And yeah, I have, just to quickly show my settings, I have raid frames enabled with basically the default settings here. I'll just scroll down. But basically default unit frames I have enabled, but I only have CC immunities, interrupts, and spell immunities. I don't like the rest being shown. It confuses me. Arena frames, disable arena frames because this is gonna conflict with S Arena Aura Tracker. If you want to have both, you can, or if you want to disable S Arenas and enable this one, you also can, but I just disabled this one. And the rest of these settings should be default. Nameplates is kind of what I was just showing you with the fear over the nameplate. And I have it enabled, but only for CC and roots. And that's it. I talked to Jordan, the author of Big Debuffs. Right now, you can only show one CC above the target. He's going to make it so you can show multiple. When that's the case, I'll probably add interrupts in as well. But right now, I don't want interrupts to overlap CC. So I'm only going to do that when you can see it more than one. Priority default spells. I think I have everything default here as well, and that's it. So the only things I change are basically in unit frames, like what I'm ticking off here, and then arena frames disabled. Big debuffs is such a good add-on, man. Bartender. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, congratulations, by the way. But Bartender, why am I using it over Dominoes? Because I was using Dominoes. There's a couple reasons for it. The first is, and these are really weird small reasons, but I'll share them with you anyway, because maybe you're interested. My cast bar is right here. Now, when I summon a water elemental, my cast bar stays in the same spot. That is not default. That is Bartender doing that. By default, the cast bar will actually move up in TBC to account for the water elemental or the pet that you summoned. But I like the cast bar staying where it is. And since Bartender keeps it there and Dominoes doesn't, that's one thing I really, really like about Bartender. Now, on default, if you log out, it resets your cast bar back down and moves it. I just like my cast bar being in one spot. That's why I have it here. Same thing with your bags. It'll move up your bags, weirdly enough, once you summon a water elemental. And then Bartender, once again, fixes that. Now, another reason I like Bartender, well, one, it works well with Mask, so I can make it look exactly like retail WoW. But the real reason I switched to Bartender is when you're CC'd, right? When someone fears you, when someone polymorphs you, Bartender will make your action bars go red and show the cooldown, just like retail does. Now, this is a retail feature. I don't know when it was added, maybe Kata or maybe Mop, but basically when you're CC'd, your action bars on retail will go red and have a cooldown count for when you're out of that CC, like out of the fear. Dominoes does not do this. Default TBC, action bars do not do this. You need Bartender to mimic this effect of how the CC effect works on your action bars on retail WoW. And that's the big reason I switched to Bartender, because they'll actually show you when you're CC'd with that indicator. Now, you can use lose control if you want the CC in the middle of your screen. I actually am weird. I'm one of the only players that doesn't use that add-on. I don't necessarily like it. There's another one called Easy CC that you can get too. How it is on retail, but I don't use it. I don't use it. I prefer just seeing the CC from Bartender and looking at my debuffs, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, guys, that's and then Auctionator, right? And Auctionator is just a auction house add-on. You can use Ox if you want. You know, no huge preference there. I like or TSM if you want as well. That works fine. But Auctionator seems to be generally pretty lightweight, and it does what I need it to do, so it works fine. But these are my add-ons, guys. This is a long time coming. I've been messing with these add-ons for at least a couple weeks now, and I think this is pretty much dialed down to what I really prefer and really like to make TBC Arena fluid, make it feel like live WoW. And those are pretty much all my settings that you guys can copy from every single one of these add-ons. Once again, just to reiterate, I prefer a user interface that has as much gone and as much hidden as I can and still keep the essence of what I need on the screen. And I really, really do think these add-ons help me do that. Just to quickly show you what everything looks up at once with diminishing returns and Omnibar test. This is what it would look like. Of course, there wouldn't be this many kicks. Usually there would just be like a couple kicks up at once because I only track kicks. And of course, all of these probably wouldn't be up at the same time. But here's my S Arena, here's the DRs, here's my Omnibar, here's the Tell Me When. And I'll bring up my align too, to just, if you want to align it perfectly like how mine is. Here's my frames, my focus frame, and my party would go right about here. I have smaller party frames. And then the OmniCC would show my party cooldowns right about here as well. So that's pretty much the whole user interface. Long time coming, super long time coming. Once again, stuff might change at some point in the future, but I think this is pretty much dialed down to exactly what I want. If you guys want to download any of the add-ons, the link's down below. It's also in the Discord. Now, if I update any of my add-ons, the add-on list will reflect that if I download a new one or something like that. But this is pretty much all the same add-ons I have on retail, configured to make it very retail-esque and very minimal-esque. So there it is. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you did not enjoy the video, give it a big thumbs down. Talk to me down below, the types of videos that you guys want to see coming up in the future. And with that, guys, freaking G's. Do those dailies. Follow me on Instagram, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.